All right, let me introduce you guys to something that has been an absolute pain in my backside for the last couple of weeks. This is the tie rod end off the front right side of Little Rita. And somehow, I've never seen this happen before, but a buddy of mine said it's because I'm trying to use the tractor like a bulldozer, which is probably true. Anyway, this is the ball joint, and it is factory pressed into this tie rod end. You can't get it out. And the threads right here, this is where the threads poke through and it bolts through the knuckle. The threads broke off. So of course my first response is call the dealer and ask if I can get a new tie rod in. Yeah, that'll be $370 and we're not sure on the lead time. 370 bucks! It's a piece of steel pipe and an eyelet. The only problem is that stupid ball joint is factory in there. I cannot just replace the ball joint. That's obviously what I would do first. So, can't just replace the ball joint. Tried to go to Napa and see if they could find basically a matching tie rod end that I could put an aftermarket ball joint into. They couldn't find anything in their catalog because the tie rod end has a female thread on it, whereas everything they had all had male threads. Now we could have fixed that. We could have, put a crossover or something. I tried to weld a bolt back on to weld on new threads. That held for a while and broke again, and I re-welded it and it broke again. So what we're doing today is we're going to totally rebuild this thing. This is the last resort before I go spend 370 bucks. I'm going to cut this whole tie rod end off of here, and what I'm going to put on, we're going to totally remove the ball joint, which I know is not ideal, but it's what's going to happen. This is a replacement end for a 3-point link arm like on your tractor. Picked this up at Tractor Supply for I think $11. This hole is a 3/4 ID. The bolt here that fits through the hole in the tractor is a 1/2. So we found us a couple of little bushings here, and it's not ideal. You can see there's still wiggle, but it's going to have to do. This is a eyelet reducer, so this takes it from 3/4 to 5/8. It's a bushing. This takes it from 5/8 to 1/2. It's a bushing, and I've got 2 of them, so to fill that gap. And this is our 1/2-inch bolt. We're just going to run that bolt all the way through the whole thing. So basically the threads that broke off before, soft little crap steel, broke off. We're replacing it with a grade 8 bolt. The only thing that we're losing effectively as far as like the tie rod is concerned is the ball joint normally is kind of tight and it's greasable. It kind of is a shock absorber. And this thing is actually, it's pretty loose, but it'll bind up on you. But it should effectively have the same function, other than that ball joint being, I don't know, a little bit kind of like a shock absorber. And of course, the ball joint was greasable. This is not. I might see if this puts on the tractor and it holds, and I might see if I can drill and tap this and put a greaser in there to make it greasable. That'd be nice, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that metal. It almost feels like cast, but it's not. It says it's forged, so it's not cast iron. Anyway. So I'm going to whack this other end off of here, and then we're just going to weld that eyelet on. So let's get after it. got this sucker off there. That took forever. Something, my chop saw I think is messed up. But it seems like it just doesn't want to cut. That's this. Woohoo! Instant boil. Not really, but throw that in there just so nicely and pick it up later when it's steaming hot. So yeah, that took a lot longer. This thing is still smoking hot. So here's the end where we cut it off, and this makes me happy. Solid steel. I wasn't sure what I was going to find inside there. It actually looks almost like there's two different layers. But that's good solid steel, so that's good. That's on the end of the threaded. And then yeah, so our new end is just going to go right on here. And this is really good because this gives me way more surface to weld to. When I was trying to weld that bolt, it was just such a little amount of area. I could never get a good weld, but hopefully with this, I'm not even going to notch it. I'm just going to make sure it's all lined up flush. You can see right now it's not quite square, but it's already got a bevel on both sides of that, right here on both sides of the eyelet. So I don't even need to bevel it. I'm just going to weld it, make 2 or 3 beads on both sides, weld it up nice and tight, and hopefully we'll be done. Centered up like I'd like. I couldn't see in the vise whether or not it was quite right, but it'll be okay because I'm going to weld all that anyway. Might see if I can bend it just a little bit, and actually when I weld this side it might actually pull it back up a little bit, but I don't like that. It's going to work though. I'm certain it's going to work. If you got the action of the split one, it's going to be enough. Ugliness about the ring. Back on this side. accidentally welded it to the vise. Alright, same thing. I'm gonna clean it up, brush it up, weld some more. I'll show you when it's done. Once I get it all welded up, I'll grind it clean and then we'll show you. Alright. Well, I mostly ground it just to make it look a little prettier. Not for y'all, but I don't know, for the wife or something. I don't want to keep grinding. I'm just grinding off material that I put on. I should grind off that big burr. That's where I accidentally welded the tube. I couldn't see what I was doing. But it looks, whatever. Still not great. I could do a few more beads on it if I wanted to, but I really need to hurry and get back to the house. I got a customer supposed to be coming from the sawmill and the tractor's holding that up. So anyway, we'll do a little stress test here. Beat it against the anvil. I don't see any tearing there. I don't see anything tearing there. Ball still swivels after doing that. That's good. First time I whacked it like this, and I thought, oh crap, I don't want to egg that, you know. So yeah, let's see how she holds. We hope. I'll show you once I get her on the tractor and see how it all looks. All right, so here's our installed finished product, and you can see the tractor's moved now because I was working on it right out smack in the middle of the driveway, because when I managed to limp it on and off the trailer to get it home from the job, and it broke as soon as I got off the trailer, and I said, to heck with it. And you're sitting right there. It broke again. That was back when I had it stuck together with a C-clamp, just holding the ball joint in. But yeah, so we're in there now, and I just took it on a little quick whip around the driveway here, just went full lock to both sides to try to make sure the steering wasn't binding up, nothing sticking. I do need to make it a little bit longer. So you see the bolt. This bolt needs to be a little bit longer, because you see from the end of the new ball joint, if you will, back into this bracket here, excuse me, that shield, it slopes upwards just a little bit, which there's play in here. There's a little ball joint or U-joint or something in there that allows it. But when I look at the other side, this tie rod end is down a lot lower and comes out straighter. So there needs to be a bigger space in here. Basically, I need to get a bigger bushing or something to keep that down, but the bolt wasn't long enough to do it. So that's a 3-inch long bolt. I need to go with like a 4-inch. That'd give me that little bit extra space I need, and it would give me a little bit more thread to work with. But yeah, this like I said, I feel a lot better about that weld anyway. Hopefully it lasts. We'll find out. I got a customer coming right now for the sawmill, so I hope it at least lasts today so I can use the tractor.